I'm Melissa Ohden. I'm the founder and CEO of the Abortion Survivors Network. We are a healing and advocacy organization that serves abortion survivors, so the babies who survive failed abortions. We serve survivors around the world and their families, including their moms, who are impacted after an abortion fails. And of course, I have my own backstory that led me to creating this organization. I myself am an abortion survivor. In 1977, I survived a saline infusion abortion that was forced upon my birth mother by her family. I soaked in a toxic salt solution for 5 days, being poisoned and scalded to what was intended to be my death. And on the 5th day of the abortion procedure, I was accidentally born alive. Sadly, there were demands made to leave me to die at St. Luke's Hospital in Sioux City, Iowa, by my own grandmother, who was a nurse at that facility. And gratefully, after a few minutes, I know that I was ultimately rushed off to the NICU by a brave nurse who was willing to do the right thing for me. And for me, that's what the Born Alive vote is all about, is ensuring that babies like me are provided medical care. My life, no survivor's life, should ever be left in the hands of whoever is working that day. The short version of the bill would be that it would start the process where we would have reporting of the incidence of failed abortions and abortion survivors. There is no federal reporting that happens. And obviously, we need to know just how big of a problem this is in order to meet the needs of survivors and women, and also medical providers that are impacted by this. So we're looking at reporting. We're looking at ensuring that babies are provided medical care and not being left to die. People can look through CDC reports and know that babies can survive minutes, hours, days after failed abortions without medical care. This should not ever be a question. It also would ensure that women who experience a failed abortion could take a stand, right? Could sue the abortionist if they don't provide their child medical care. Knowing that it was blocked over 80 times when we had Speaker Pelosi. Obviously, yesterday was very historic.
Which is why it is essential that this body, the United States House of Representatives, condemns these heinous acts of political violence. I am proud to be an original co-sponsor of this legislation and will always and forever stand on the right side of history when it comes to protecting the unborn.
Certainly, it's so emotional to be in that gallery and see the vote happening. There were Democrats dressed all in white making their stand, that they, of course, were standing in opposition to the bill. And it's almost indescribable for me to say what that's like, to see the people who are in opposition of truly who I am and what I have suffered, and the population that I serve, what they're suffering still today.
Expecting parents have enough worries. They should not have to worry about extreme politicians in their doctor's office or hospital, thinking they somehow know better. I urge my colleagues to vote no on H.R. 26.
It is a bit unnerving to see that, but I've been doing this for so long that it doesn't surprise me. But I'm so emotional every time I see our leaders, our Republican leaders, taking that stand. The messaging that has come out in the last week is that the Republicans are clearly taking a stand and sending a message that they're trying to restrict abortion. And for me, what I look upon what has happened, I look at that and say they are taking a stand in defense of life, and not just for children like me, but for women like my biological mother, who deserved better than to have an abortion forced upon her. But the same arguments we've heard for a decade are the same arguments I heard yesterday, and I've seen it even today in the media, and none of it surprises me. But it's everything from this doesn't happen. Well, are they asking any of us who have lived to tell the story what our experience is? Are they asking these moms? Are they looking at data the way that we do? What about all of these instances? And what about all of the reports in the handful of states who actually do report out their statistics? Why is it that in states like Minnesota and Texas, when they identified babies are surviving abortions, you read in those reports that those children were not provided medical care? Tell me there isn't a problem. Put themselves in the shoes of someone like me, who not only suffered trauma in the womb, but has suffered trauma throughout my life as a result of it, not just emotional, but physically, the way that abortion has affected my body. I may not be missing limbs, but I can tell you my body has been impacted by that abortion. Ending my life is not the solution to that problem. Ensuring that that never happened in the first place is what should have happened. And so I want people to really kind of take a step back from all of the fight that happens in social media in particular, and be willing to listen to stories, right? Be open-minded to the other side of things and contact us, ask some questions. I would be more than willing to have a conversation with someone, but there is more to the story than what we have lived with for the last 50 years under Roe.